Hello students, in the last video we talked about poetry and today we are going to explore poetic devices. But before exploring poetic devices, let's have a look at the definition of poetry first. Now what is poetry? Poetry is a creative form of writing that uses rhythmic language and literary devices to express emotions, ideas and experiences. And poetic devices help us to explore these experiences and emotions. Now let's have a look at the definition of poetic devices first. What are poetic devices? Poetic devices are tools used to enhance the beauty, meaning and emotional impact of poetry. They create vivid imagery, convey deeper meanings and emotions in the reader. Actually, poetic devices make poetry memorable and really powerful. Now, we have many poetic devices, but we are going to explore these 8 poetic devices, namely simile, metaphor, repetition, symbolism, personification, alliteration, enjambment and rhyme. We'll take one by one. Let's talk about simile first. Now, what is simile? As the name suggests, the word simile comes from the Latin word similis, that means like. It is a figure of speech that is used to compare 2 or more things that have a similar quality. And when we are talking about any simile, we use words like as or like. Now with the help of example, you will be able to understand this in a better way. Let's have a look at the examples. He ran as fast as a tiger. Now in this, students, 2 different things are being compared. One is the boy and the other is a tiger. Both are 2 different things, but yes, they have a common quality, that is they are running that is very fast. So we compare boy with the tiger, rather we compare the quality of running with that of the tiger and we use the word as fast as. So this is a perfect example of simile. Now let's have a look at the second example. It says, Anu's eyes sparkled like diamonds. Now girl and diamond, both are 2 different things, but yes, they have something in common, that the eyes of this girl sparkle like diamonds. So this quality is being compared using the word like. So sparkling is being compared with the sparkling of eyes of this girl, that is Anu. So this is the use of simile, and when we use similes in poetry, actually it enhances the emotional impact of the poem. Now students, let's have a look at this example. Here you can see 2 things, one is a girl and the other is the sun. As you can see, these are 2 different things, but we will formulate a simile using these 2 objects. How? Let's explore. A girl, if we talk about the qualities of a girl, she has blue eyes, blonde hair and a bright smile. And if we talk about the sun is round, yellow and bright. So we have a common word here, that is bright, and using this word we are going to draft one simile. How? Let's see. We will use this matching adjective bright and use the keyword that we use in a simile as or like to write the simile. And the simile comes like this: her smile is as bright as the sun, or her smile is bright like the sun. So students, when poets use such similes, this actually enhances the emotional impact of poetry. On similar lines, we have another figure of speech, that is metaphor. Now, word metaphor comes from the Greek word metaphorein, meaning to transfer. It is a figure of speech that implicitly compares 2 unrelated things like a simile by stating that one thing is another. Now, here is the catch. This is like simile. In a simile, we make comparison. Here also we make comparison. But the difference lies in the disuse of the word like or as. We don't use words like as or like here. Rather, we say this thing is that thing. Let's have a look at the example for better clarity. Her home was a prison. Here we are saying that A is B, that is her home is prison itself. It is not like a prison, it is a prison. So here we can associate whatever qualities of a prison can be given to her home. Maybe her home is very small in size. Maybe the girl is not allowed to move out of the house like a prison. Maybe the girl is trapped inside the house as in a prison. So the definition of this metaphor can be explored with the help of your imagination. Whatever qualities you can give to this metaphor, you are free to use using your own imagination. Now let's have a look at another one. My father is a rock. Now father and rock are two similar things, but we are comparing father with a rock. Father with a rock means my father is very strong, he is determined, he is reliable, he is rock solid. So this is the use of metaphor. My father is a rock. We will explore this with the help of a very famous example of Shakespeare that he uses in his play As You Like It. You can say All the World's a Stage by William Shakespeare. In this famous example, rather famous metaphor, Shakespeare talks about world. He talks about world like a stage. He says that this world is a stage and we human beings are players who make their entrances and make their exits. Now what is being compared as entrance? Entrance means taking birth. And when we perform all our responsibilities, all our roles, whatever has been designated to us, we make our exit. As on a stage, exit means we all die. So here Shakespeare talks about the transient nature of life. He talks about human existence, highlighting the idea that we all have our parts to play in the world, and here he uses 7 stages of a man's life to describe this beautiful metaphor. Now, when we talk about simile and metaphor, I'm sure you must be slightly confused. What is the difference between simile and metaphor? So let's have a look at the difference now. A simile makes an explicit comparison between two things. You can see the example, he fought like a lion in the battlefield. And if we talk about metaphor, a metaphor makes an implicit comparison by saying that something is something else. See, the same example can be rephrased into a metaphor like, he was a lion in the battlefield. So where is the difference? The difference lies in the use of word like or as in the simile, whereas in a metaphor, we are not using words like or as. And if we talk about this example, he fought like a lion. So we are talking about only the fighting skill of that person to that of a lion. But if I say he was a lion, so whatever qualities we can think about a lion, maybe it's a fierce nature, the speed, the agility, everything is left to the imagination of the reader to give the qualities of lion to that person. So again, simile is explicit and metaphor is implicit. The second difference is it uses words such as like or as to make comparison, whereas in metaphors we don't use such words. Instead, they usually contain a form of verb like be. Like for example, you are an angel. It's not you are like an angel, rather you are an angel. So A is B in a metaphor. Now, third figure of speech that we are going to explore apart from metaphor and simile, that is repetition. As the word suggests, repetition means to repeat. Now what are we repeating and why are we repeating? Let's see. It's repeating words, phrases, lines or stanzas in a given poem. It is an intentional technique that the poet uses throughout the poem. And repetition can create rhythm, reinforce themes or enhance the emotional impact of a piece of writing. You must have seen this poem and this very famous stanza. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep. And miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So this is a perfect example of repetition. What do you think? The poet has used because he is running short of words? No. This is an intentional technique, again to enhance the meaning, the theme, and to give rhythm to this stanza. Let's talk about in depth. This is a very famous poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. And it says, alone, alone, all alone, alone on a wide, wide sea. Now you can see in 11 words, alone is repeated 4 times, while all and wide are repeated twice each. Each word contributes its own importance to the poem. How? All emphasizes the intensity of the speaker's loneliness. The word alone highlights the speaker's solitude, and the wide highlights the vast amount of space between the speaker and anything else. I'm sure, students, now you are thorough with these three poetic devices that we have done today: simile, metaphor and repetition, and you would be able to attempt this simple question, that is, you have to identify the poetic device given in these certain questions. So I hope you enjoyed these poetic devices and you are going to read more poems and explore if you can find these poetic devices in those poems as well. So happy reading, happy enjoying poetry and happy learning.